Greetings Palian housing enthusiasts. Sorry to start this video off with a tiny sidebar already, but well, this video was going to start off very differently since, well, I honestly thought that I was going to have to do this video in a certain way because of an issue that used to be present involving conflicting buttons on the Switch surrounding the group select feature. So I was going to teach everyone how to remap their buttons if they needed to. However, let me show you something. So, just boop, right up here, we trundle on down to the settings, just bop right over, and I have reset the controls back to their default. And if we go all the way down to housing, we notice that multi-select is now by default ZL, and lock XY axis, which was the conflicting button, is now your Y button. So now there is no issue. For sake of time, I won't be doing the video on the Switch, but just know that the entirety of the video is Switch friendly. Alright, and with that out of the way, let's get to today's video. Alright, so getting into what exactly we are going to be talking about today. We will be going over how to build what can be called two things actually. Either a green wall, which is what I know it as, or can also be referred to as a living wall. The entire concept is referred to as living architecture. From when I was studying architecture, how my instructors described it, the purpose of it was to create green spaces in areas where you wouldn't normally find them. Urban centers, office buildings. I think you can kind of get the gist of it. And yeah, that is going to be the topic of today's video, is how you can create your own living architecture very easily. So the materials for today are going to be super easy. All you're going to need are any kind of flower, literally any. Aside from I would caution against using the gremlin tails, only because it doesn't really make sense due to the fact that they by and large grow in ponds, so you wouldn't really see them growing out of walls. But I mean, then again, it's your own design, so if you want to have gremlin tails growing out of your wall, more power to you. Beyond that, we're going to need a shelf. You know me, I suggest the industrial wall shelf because it's the most user-friendly, but the capital chic shelf in this case works just as well. We are going to be needing the builder's pillars. Just one of them is going to be good. This is going to be where you're going to go for what's going to match your design. For today's examples, I'll be using the stone just because that's the look that I prefer. And then you're going to need flooring, because remember that our flowers are floor items. And then one more thing that's very important, you are going to need just one just one crate. It doesn't matter what crate, but you just need one small crate. Beyond that, you'll be good to go. It was wrong. You need 2 crates. More on that later, but just 2 crates. Alright, so before we go further, and I'm going to label this section, do not skip this section, because it's very important that everyone pays attention to this section, because if they don't pay attention to this section, it's not going to work, okay? Pay attention? So, I already have a wall set up here. So, watch what happens when I try to place a flower from my inventory. It says that something's in the way. However, if I take a flower that's already been placed, you don't get the message. So that's the main thing, is do not place flowers from your inventory. I will make a graphic and make sure that there's a graphic on the screen. Do not place flowers from your inventory. Every single time you want to place a flower on your wall, you need to place it on the ground and then put it on your wall, okay? Okay, now we can continue. That's all. Sorry to get a little bit intense. I want 0 questions. And 0 comments saying that it's not working for them. Because if anyone skips the section labeled do not skip, I'm gonna comment, it's probably user error. Love you. With that out of the way, let's get to building our wall. So, we have our shelves, we have our pillar, we have our floors, we have all of our flowers. So all we have to do, it's super simple. So we put our shelf down on our crate, and then we take our pillar and put it on our shelf. And now we're going to rotate the shelf 90 degrees. And from there, we put down our chosen flooring. So in this case, I chose stone. So this is where our second crate comes in. We put that crate on top of the floor. Because if we try and place that floor on top of the pillar, yeah, it kind of goes, but you know, it sits on top, and it's, you know, it's okay, but no. However, if we target the crate, and then we do it a little bit further away. A little bit further away. There we go. Target the crate. Then we press our group select button, which by default on the PC is Alt, and on the Switch now is ZL. There we go. It's your left trigger. There we go. See? Goes all nice and pretty like. And now, all we do is we flip it over, And we just grab another floor. And we do that again. And we just find where it matches up all nice and pretty like. There might be a small discrepancy, but it's okay. We're going to be covering up with flowers anyway. Doesn't really matter. And there you go. You've got your little double-sided wall. And the nice thing about this is, well, the shelf is rotated. You can make that sucker as big as you want. So say you wanted it really long. Go for it. You want it really tall? Sure thing. But you know, for sake of simplicity and keeping this video not super long, we're just gonna make a small guy. And just, you know, extrapolate that into like the size that you want. So, do some trial and error. I figured out that this is really the best way to go. You're going to want to make your border first. Or, sorry, personally, I like making my border first. Just because the one time I didn't make my border first, I'm pretty sure I used way too many flowers. And as you'll see, when you add your border on, so I think, yeah, so if we just go 1, 2, 3 ticks, so it should look like a diamond, like that. And then this is where your flower should go, just like that. See? All nice and pretty like. And now we just go make it a diamond the other way. Boop. And now we can add the top one. And now we just add the sides. See? See how easy this is? Holy doodle. And now for either side, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can either, if you're just doing gardenias, like I had inside, you can just lay it flat and snuggle in your flowers. Which, if you're having problems grabbing the flower, just angle your camera at wild angles. Eventually you'll find the flower that's on there. There we go. See, there's a little bit of stone up there. And so if we just move down that top. And there we go. And from here, if we wanted to, we could add a little bit more fun times by, adding in some other flowers. Add in some tulips, not from our inventory. And you can just change the angle of the shelf, and that changes the angle of your flowers. Just remember that the only place that will not be placeable is where that pillar is. Then we can do the other side. I almost broke my own rule. Well, see? Not from your inventory. Just wanted to show y'all what not to do. Shifty eyes. And yeah, if you're looking for how to move it, you just find that pillar again. And this is another reason why we did this version instead of having it just sitting on top of the pillar, because since the floors are recessed into the pillar, we can easily grab that pillar and move it around. And there we go. See? It's just that easy. Trying to think of any afterwards. Oh, right. Some additional things that you can add is, of course, lighting. Which is why I have all this stuff added over here. Because remember that we are dealing with floors. So since they are floors, you can just place anything that goes on a floor inside your flowers. But you can also get creative with it. Like, I don't know. Be crazy. There you go. Can't wait to see what everybody makes with this. Special thanks goes out to a friend of the channel, Joa, for inspiring the creation of this work with his own green wall. He didn't do it quite this way, but that doesn't stop it from being an inspiration and doesn't stop him from deserving a shout out. As well, another user by the name of Drakelance, they asked a question during one of my live streams to do with just rotating flowers, and just figured out how we could do that, and that was a big help. And just to show that, you know, we are a community of collaborators as well. I have to shout out the Lillian Games once again for bringing us the 1 cup / group select glitch that we used in today's video. And as well, a massive thank you goes to Artimus for making the music in today's video. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Massive shout out to everyone at the unofficial Palia housing Discord. If people haven't joined already, there's a link in the description. As well, if anyone would like to join one of the live streams, they're every Monday and Wednesday over on Twitch. If you'd like to support the channel, please see the Ko-Fi link in the video description. Donations help with things like acquiring landscapes to help with troubleshooting, along with keeping the streams ad-free. And as always, I've been a tiny drake with titanic dreams, hoping your dreams are and always will be just as big. I'll see you in the future, fam. Much love.